Alright guys, it's like almost 1:30 a.m. but we're gonna do a 100% platinum for What Remains of Edith Finch, which is a really good game. So yeah, let's enjoy it. I haven't played on PS5 before. Oh, that's right. There we go.
A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning, with the house.
Alright, so we start off coming down this path, and we're going to have two ways to go. You get a trophy.
Here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms.
Let her talk. So you'll get a trophy for going down each path. There is one through the woods and one, not through the woods, I guess? Oh.
Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately. I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral.
Okay, so this is about the pace
In her
we
will,
got.
my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked. Maybe she thought I'd know, or she thought that the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
Yeah, so here is where you can go left or right down into the woods or up. You'll get a trophy for following each path. So we'll just, I can't remember if you have to go down or if you can come back. We might have to start a new playthrough just to get the trophy, but we'll see. Hi, little leggies. It's like 1:30 a.m. here. It's early there. What are you doing up? Thank you for the lurk. Alright, here we go.
The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to.
Yeah, so there's no run. So yeah.
The woods around the house have always been uncomfortably silent. As if they're about to say something, but never do.
Oopsies. That's a wheelbarrow. Now I'm curious. Hold on. This one. Alright. So here we go. This music is so nice.
The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it.
I'm like 100% sure. Okay, so, yeah. Okay. Okay, so here is this, and now we're just going to turn around. And we're gonna go up the other path. And this should pop the trophy for us. Oh, it's okay, little legs. I hope you're having a good morning. I said I would get this stream in, so I'm gonna get it in. If it goes, depending on how I feel, I might continue. Oh shoot, that was a whole deer. We'll see what's going on. But yeah, this is just a 100% platinum.
No one had driven this way in a long time.
And there we
but
go.
I saw a few hoof prints.
Trophy 1, all roads. You can't see it on screen, but yeah. So you just walk, you don't even have to do the full path, you just walk up and you get the trophy. So now, we are going to come up here, and there are little peepholes around the house. To get the trophy for the peepholes, you have to have her look through every peephole and let her talk. I don't know if there's anything down here. I don't think so. Don't think so. I don't fully remember everything, but yeah. So I can hear the riveting.
As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words. Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house.
Okay, so we're going to come over here. Here is our first peephole. Ta-da!
The house felt like it had always been here. Even the swing set was older than my mother.
Okay. So now we're gonna come back out here. I think it's the front door. Oh wait. Oh, I guess it is. I forgot.
Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11.
Okay. So now she walks so slow. It's okay. She's pregnant.
For the first time in years,
Oh,
I felt like I was home.
yeah, you can figure that out if you just look down and then you can see her belly. That's not a spoiler.
But instead of a family, there were just memories of one.
Alright, so...
Like how after Louis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon. Except our cat, Molly.
Damn. Alright. So.
The table was still a wreck from the night we left.
You don't have to do all this stuff.
It was like a bomb had gone
trophy,
off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture. My mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great-Grandma Edie living in a nursing home.
Yeah, so it just gives a little background.
Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth.
We come around here. We can't do
Mom
this
always
yet.
told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit.
Okay. So we're not going to do that one quite yet. There is another peephole right here, so that makes number 2.
Edie told me once that every Finch who ever lived is buried somewhere in the library.
Alright. That was it, I think, right? Alright, yeah. So then we're going to come up here.
After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes.
So here...
I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room. I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up.
Alright, so we're gonna come over here and we're gonna look through the peepholes.
Molly always seemed like a girl I could imagine being friends with, if she hadn't died in 1947.
Yeah, that's probably gonna do it. Alright, so there's 1, so that makes 3. 4.
The last time I was in Edith Sr.'s room, I was 10 and she was painting my portrait.
5.
As a kid, I just assumed every house had peepholes and sealed rooms you weren't allowed inside of.
6.
My Grandpa Sam spent 7 years sharing a room with his dead brother, Calvin.
Alright. 7. Right?
Barbara was a child star for 2 years.
I think.
Until America grew out of it.
Alright. So, I think that's all the doors we can do.
Mom must have locked the 3rd floor stairs on the night we left.
Alright, so those are all the doors. Yeah, so we did those 3 and that one. Okay, so now we can go through here. I really like this room. We're going to come over here.
Louis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him. Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets.
Dang, that was really neat. Okay.
Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of.
Alright.
From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me. Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan. But I had no idea what was behind that door.
Okay, so we're in Molly's room. We can actually get 2 trophies in this part of the game.
I had no idea where all this was gonna lead. I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole.
Okay. So the first trophy, we're going to get through this.
December 13th, 1947.
We're going to get turned into an animal.
Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's going to happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat. The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it. I kept eating and eating.
Oh, man.
I thought about eating Christopher, but I held back.
Alright, I think that's it. Oh, wait, there's something right here.
My Halloween candy was all gone.
Dad.
Then I heard chirping outside my window. I ate a lot of things that night. It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her. And suddenly, I was a cat.
I forget. There we go.
I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared. Mom and Dad didn't even look at me.
Oh, wow. I never noticed this part before. Yes. Oh gosh, Molly, come on. Is it that way? No, it's this way. That's what I thought. Okay, there we go. Pretty much just follow the lights until you get to the table and stuff.
I jumped and I almost got her. I could tell she was getting really tired.
Alright.
Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird.
Alright, here we go.
I gobbled her up,
Okay, so this part
and suddenly
is your first
I
of
was
2
an owl.
trophies. There's
First,
going to be
all I
rabbits
heard
on the
was the
ground,
wind.
and you're going
Then I
to
heard little teeth nibbling in the grass.
you have to get them while flying, and you can only do it with your first catch. So we are going to
Rabbits.
see if I can do this. I'm not very good at it. Come on, Molly. There we go. Got one? Okay.
I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons.
Oh my gosh.
I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger.
Alright, so now we just need one more rabbit.
A mama rabbit.
Where did you see? Ma'am, I don't see anything. Okay. Okay, and there we go.
She
The
was
trophy
almost too
Great
big
Owl.
to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating.
Alright.
And suddenly, I was a shark.
What? What? Oh my god, I forgot about this part. Sorry. Oh goodness. Okay, here we go, here we go, here we go. Flop. Flop. Here we go. Flop.
I rolled off a cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever.
Oh gosh, okay. Okay, so gotta look for some.
I wanted fat, juicy seals.
Okay. There we go. Chomp.
I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good. I grabbed on tight. But I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed.
Okay. So for this one, there is going to be a man singing
Now I was a monster.
a
I
little
smelled
shanty,
people
and we're gonna have to let him finish singing. I can't remember where he is. Hold on. Okay, so
I was big, but I moved real quiet.
Gosh dang.
I wanted to stop, but also I didn't.
Okay. So, this part. You let him sing, and then a trophy will pop.
His belly with a rusty razor, his belly with a rusty razor, his belly with a rusty razor, in the morning. What shall we do with a drunken sailor? What shall we do with a drunken sailor? What shall we do with a drunken sailor? Put him in bed with the captain's daughter, put him in bed with the captain's daughter, put him in bed with the captain's daughter. What shall we do with a drunken sailor? What shall we do with a drunken sailor? What shall we do with a drunken sailor? Struck it with a longboat till he's sober, struck it with a longboat till he's sober, struck it with a longboat till he's sober, what shall we do with a drunken sailor? What shall we do with a drunken sailor? What shall we do with a drunken sailor? Put him in the scuppers with a hose pipe on him. Put him in the scuppers with a hose pipe on him. Put him in the scuppers with a hose pipe on him. Early in the morning. What shall we do with a drunken sailor?
Oh my gosh.
What shall we do with a drunken sailor? What shall we do with a drunken sailor?
So yeah, we just have to wait for him to finish his song.
She rises, he-ho, she rises, he-ho, she rises early in the morning.
Okay, and there we go. Let him finish. Oh, God. Jump scare. Oops.
Passenger, I was still
Alright.
hungry. And across the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it. I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe. I got closer and closer. All of my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
I'm not
so
sure if I
sorry you
believed
feel
all of that,
unwell.
but I'm sure Edie would have.
You are more than welcome to be here. Okay. So, after we do that, we can come around. I think there's maybe some stuff to look at.
Molly's gerbil
Yes.
had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage.
Alright. Oh, ma'am, can you let go of it? It's
I can't
just
describe
basically
it, but
lore stuff.
I felt like some part of Molly was still here.
Yeah, so there's Molly. Here we go. Come through this window.
This will
And
be
then-
obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past.
She is so brave for walking
Though,
on this.
when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly.
Alright.
I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room.
So, there is
Her room was like a
some
museum.
stuff.
For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan.
Pretty sure I played this game, but I don't really remember. It's a very good game, very short.
On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind.
How you said that with a house?
But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house.
Okay. Let's see.
Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
So yeah. That's just to get a little side. I don't think you need him for the trophy.
Lewis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him. Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious. I hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time. When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have,
Yeah,
but
she could have.
didn't.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
Alright, here we go.
The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife, Kay, left on the house was the pink bathroom. It was a pretty big trace.
Okay, so we're gonna come over here, unlock this, and then we're gonna climb through.
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
Oh wow. That was really neat. I like these puzzles. Okay, so we're gonna hop through here.
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
Alright, for this trophy,
I knew Grandpa Sam had a
we're
twin.
going to open this.
And that he never talked about him.
And we're gonna come up here.
I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it.
Okay, so for this one, you have to swing him all the way around. Okay.
My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom. And he did.
So, oh my gosh.
At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid
There
again.
we go.
And he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
You just gotta keep swinging him.
Coming! But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that.
Calvin, I'm not gonna tell you again.
Maybe if the wind hadn't picked up. Then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother. The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Alright. And there we are.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing. After the
I
funeral,
thought there was a trophy
Edie
for
roped
that
off
one.
Calvin's half of the room.
Maybe not. Okay. Maybe not. Okay, so we're just gonna move on to the next one. Oops. Ma'am? Please walk. Ma'am? There we go, sorry. Alright. And now we should... No? Can't
Mom
go
said
up-
Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room
There we
again.
go. There we go, that's right. Maybe. There we go, R2. And we open another puzzle thing. Hi Val, how are you? Also, all the parts so far for Cyberpunk are up on my YouTube channel. I'll post a link in a little bit. Shout out Val real quick.
They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
Okay, we're not going that way, we're going this way first.
Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star. I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards.
So we're gonna come over here and grab this comic, and here we'll get our next trophy.
Of all the stories people wrote about
It's
Barbara's
okay.
death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
That's why I stream it on Twitch and I upload to YouTube. So if you make the stream, you can always watch it here
Jack
for
here with another
14 days, I
ghastly
think,
tale
after my
inspired by
initial stream.
America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara
this is
was
really
famous
neat.
for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up, a has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box. And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
Rick? Are you okay?
She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
Okay. So for this next trophy, we are going to smack all this shit off the table. Goodbye. Maybe. Well, you can either smack it off the table or put the balls in the holes. Oh, there's one over here. That's why. You guys get out of my way, please. Did we miss one? Oh, nope, there we go. Clear the table. Alright, and then there is no more left in this chapter. Where the heck are we going? Oh, it's so dark. Oh, over here. Yeah. Oh, this is
The gang's
creepy.
leader is the infamous Hookman Killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
This was really well done.
The old fridge rattled and grew still.
Oh dear.
Oh!
There we go.
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and you're...
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
Oh shit. Oops.
Walter, are you there?
Walter had vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police described the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned, saw the hook man, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. And he really was. He couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
I'm trying to think. Oh, maybe in here? Oh. Oh, I'm so blind.
That night, she played her part beautifully.
Oh, Molly's room looks so good.
Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges groaned.
I don't know, to be honest.
He wasn't moving,
I hope
but she
not.
sensed the story might not be over yet.
Where the hell are the stairs? Okay. Oh my gosh, Val, thank you for the raid. I didn't even have a notification that you were live. Did the body just disappear? Oh, okay.
Had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was...
Taking away hosting was really dumb on Twitch's part.
Someone at the door was dying to speak to young Barbara. At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
That is true.
Bravo, Barbara! You were wonderful!
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter, hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box was all they ever found of her. Her ear. Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
Oh, that was so cool.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
Alright, we can now leave this room. Back the way we came.
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
Come through here. And now we can go to the music box. Because we have now looked at all these.
Edie's father, Odin, built the original house. Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara.
Alright. So we just come over here, turn this a couple times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess it's like 10, but just really until the key comes out. There we go. Now we can come down here. Let's see.
Mom said the basement was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot. I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages. I thought maybe she was hiding presents. It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that.
Oh man.
I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone. She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could. If there's a pattern in all these stories, I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
I don't think there's a trophy in this book. Oh gosh. Okay, here we go.
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years. On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week. But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane. Having a schedule, living for today. I always expected to be dead tomorrow. But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything. Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly. And then one day, everything just stopped. Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid.
think he just had peaches. Like, we'll never really know, 'cause...
It's been a week now. The longest
Yeah.
in 30 years.
Okay. Well, his peaches are
I'm
in
done
and out.
waiting.
It took you 30
I have
years
to
to
leave.
say you
Well,
are
I still
stopped
can.
waiting? Okay.
I know it's out there, somewhere.
He had all these freaking boxes of cereal. Why was he eating peaches?
Whatever killed Barbara. And Molly.
And peanut butter. And jelly.
And Calvin.
This man had food.
Maybe this is all a mistake.
You've never eaten dry cereal?
But I need to stop living the same day. Even if it kills me. Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it. I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left. Or a month. Or a single week. I'd be happy with one new day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
Oh, man. Poor Walter. That's true.
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here. I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me.
Ma'am. There we go. Why did I have to back up for her to turn around? That's funny.
Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter. But if she never told me about an uncle under the house, I can only imagine what else she was hiding. I don't want to make the same mistakes she made. Trying to bury something that's still alive. Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe 2, I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself and found out what happened to everyone else. But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real.
Dang.
I don't know if I should even be writing this.
Well, they were pretty close to the other city.
Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me. But I thought you should know about your family. And the history you're a part of. Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now. I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth. you look at the house, that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible.
Oh, there's the...
I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it. What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house? It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one. 3 of the gerbils were mine, and 2 had been my fault.
Dang, that's a lot of pets. Even their pets don't last very long.
Sven built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery.
Yeah, dang. Molly was only 10. I like this, how they all have things on them. Ma'am?
I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away.
Oh, hold on.
She could see it poking out of the water at low tide. Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night. Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from. Her dad had been pretty strict, but it wasn't enough to save her brothers. She was just trying to do better. She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us. There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself.
Where are we?
But looking back on it now,
Okay.
if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
Oh God, please do not fall. There we go. Alright.
I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common.
Those milk containers, they are. It's little bird feeders. That's cute. Oh, I guess it helps if I hold on to the button.
They were both pretty intense.
Okay. So, is this... Why does he look like Stan Lee? Okay.
Dawn,
So,
I promise.
for this one?
You'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are going to last a lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
wildlife photographer. There we go.
Am I gonna have to shoot anything?
It's a hunting trip, Dawn. Shooting is strongly encouraged. Not quite.
What?
Perfect.
There we go.
It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it?
Okay, so for this one, the second photo is the more standing. Camera down, move the camera to. Okay, so on the right side of the screen somewhere is a rabbit. Somewhere. I'm so bad at this.
Please just take the damn picture.
Hey, language.
Dang, she got impatient.
Did you want to get a picture of me or what?
Ma'am, if you don't hold your chill. Okay, so she is. Oh my gosh.
Come on already.
Will you hush your face for a minute, lady? I'm so confused. So it's like, oh my gosh, it's raining so hard. So there's a. Oh, there it is. And there's the trophy wildlife photographer. I promise.
I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
Okay, got it.
Alright.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. The camera's older than you are.
You're right, Dad. It's starting to clear up. Still freezing, though.
Thank you for the lurk, Val. I appreciate you. Not quite sure what I'm looking for here.
Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee.
Hold still while I take a picture of you.
I definitely won't be moving.
Are you done yet?
Does it sound like I'm done? Nothing quite like being outside.
What?
Hey,
That's a keeper.
Oop. A little more gas in the tank, I guess. I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Dawn. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Dawn, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years. Last time I was with my brother Calvin. Man, that was a great trip. Your grandpa Sven taught us how to fish, how to build a fire. We found an old logging trail. There were deer everywhere. I bet if I could remember where that trail was, we'd spot a buck for you in no time. Give me a minute to check the map.
Okay.
Dawn, don't you think you could find something more interesting to photograph? Maybe. You don't need to waste any more film on me, kiddo.
Maybe I wanted to.
Or was it? Could have been.
Honestly, don't remember what I'm looking for. I am so confused. Oh my good gracious. I need a hint. Game. Listen, game, I'm begging you. I'm very confused. The walkthrough I'm using only gives how to get the trophies, not how to walk through. I mean, the music is really peaceful though, so that's good. I was having such a good flow of how fast we were getting this done, too.
Dad!
Good eyes, Dawn.
Oh, there we go, birds.
Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of you.
Dad,
Let me get behind you.
do I have to do this?
Dawn, you don't have to do anything. But if Great shot, Dawn!
Damn.
I'm proud of you, Dawn. Always remember that, okay? Sorry, Dawn, just gotta reset the timer.
Oh, I'm Sam.
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally normal, Dawn. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about—
Dad!
Oh, shoot. Okay.
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me. Sam spent his life shooting photos, but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're all afraid of something.
Wow, they had real people's pictures. Okay. So, we can go through there. That's where we came from.
Instead of hiding from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way to meet it.
Okay, that's Kay's stuff. Alright, so we're gonna go in here. Bammy's mom got her revenge. Pretty much.
After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
Okay. For this next one, it's a little bit sad. Warning you ahead of time.
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone. Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it. He'd want you to be happy too. Good luck, Kay. Love, Sam.
Alright. We're getting close to, let's see who's left.
I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet...
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard. My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart. I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, "We don't need a stepmom," were the words that I remember.
And now we're down to husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
Oh shit. There we go.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to
Come here.
But Gus declined and as a sign held up his middle finger. The wind picked up and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent. The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made.
There we go.
The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder." I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't. Until we found you.
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus. My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died. At the time, it was as far away as she could get. Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died. She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
Hold on. I think it's up top still. I haven't played in a while, so. Oh yeah, that's right. Window.
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Louis was born a year later. When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back. The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that. And for a while, things were good. Almost normal, but it didn't last. The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle.
Okay, we're going to look through this one.
After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
Is she done talking? I don't know if there's anything in here. I guess not. Alright, we are going to go up here. And I think this should give us our last peephole. I could be completely wrong though.
Everyone always told me to stay out of
Yep,
Lewis's
there we
room,
go, and there's
except
a closer
Lewis.
look. And if we come around this side, we can go into Lewis's room.
Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on. Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to wander. I asked him to describe it. He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats. And toads. And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. He took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more. I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend. On the edge of a city he named Lewis-topia.
Of course
he built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery, but his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination, so he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him. He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis, until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Louis kept sailing on. In Louisburg, he heard rumors of a handsome queen. The queen was on her own quest for sinister serpents.
Your choices here do not affect the game.
He followed the sound of her silver harp. His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination. But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Louis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him. He began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Louis, the cannery worker. He began to despise the man with a royal contempt. I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions. Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on inviting him. His queen waited, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do. Bend down his head. And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
Yeah. That is really intense.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
We only have a couple trophies left now. Oh, was that not the right way to go? Okay. Where was... Was there another way to go in here? I don't think so. Oh, maybe. There was. Okay.
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. I wish we'd stayed. But I understand why we left.
Who is that? Oh. Milton's
My mom
still
ended up
missing.
leaving everything behind.
I wonder what happened to him. I don't think we ever find out.
What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner. But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night. That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
The power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
Oh shit. Ma'am. There we go.
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning, okay?
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way. I got turned around. I started seeing things. Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them. Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go!
I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car, and I never saw Great-Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone.
Oh.
After that, we moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it.
So confused what's happening.
But she started getting sick a lot. She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you and tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way. This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
God dang. And that was the story of the Finches, but we still got a couple of trophies to clean up. So we're just gonna watch this and wait for we're going to wait till we see Johan's name in the credits. There we go. We saw Johan's name, and then we can go to replay a story, and then we don't even have to play the whole story. And I think it will unlock, and that should be the platinum.
All that's left now is to tell you
Yep.
about that last night.
So there's replay a story. Oh, hold on 1 second. We're missing one. Let me check it out real quick. Oh, I'm missing some stories. Oh, I have to, okay. I chose the wrong story. we got to play Calvin's story for a second time to get another trophy called Loop-de-Loop.
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin, and that he never talked about him. I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
Luckily, this one's not too long.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it.
Alright. So...
My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom. And he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Sam! Calvin! Dinner's ready! Coming!
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that.
Calvin, I'm not gonna tell you again.
Or maybe if the wind hadn't picked up. Then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother. The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
Alright. So, did it pop? So we need to, figure out all the stories of... We have to see all of them. So, hold on one second. What are we missing? Back to game. Okay, so, Calvin's story did not... Oh, there we go. We had to close that.
After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room.
We are missing someone's story, I think.
Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again. The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
Trying to... Okay, so let's look at the family tree real quick. Uh-huh. Oh, we somehow missed getting Milton. Yeah, we missed Milton. So, trying to think. There we go. There we go. Not quite sure. Something to do in here. I'm not quite sure what we missed. Thought we checked it, but I guess not.
I think Edie was happy to finally have another painter in the family.
Oh, here we go. Yep, that's how we missed his. Okay.
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
I don't know why my controller is making that noise. Alright, if you don't skip Milton like I did on accident. Then, there we go, everything ends. And then we get the platinum all done. So, with that, you get the story of the Finches. It's about a 2-hour long game. Don't skip Milton like I did. But if you explore far enough, you should get him as you play through. The only one you really have to make sure you do is look through every peephole. The rest pretty much come with the game, or as you progress, you can always replay the stories as we go. So yeah, that was What Remains of Edith Finch. It was pretty sad. I'll be uploading this to YouTube in a little bit, but have a good night, everyone. Yeah, it was a very short game, Little Legs, but I did 100% it, get the platinum, and explained how to get each and every trophy for anybody who wants to do it themselves. Now, if you're playing the PS4 version of the game, there is no platinum. It is only 100%. Even though all the trophies are the same, you'd have to play through the PS5 version of the game to get the actual platinum trophy. But yeah, we'll pick back up with Cyberpunk at the tomorrow, well, today, I guess, since it's like 3:30, we'll pick back up in Cyberpunk in either a couple hours or tomorrow night, and then we will be doing, I think we're gonna try out The Last Guardian after we finish Cyberpunk, and, you know, maybe get a DVD stream in there. Yeah, if you aren't following my YouTube yet, here is my YouTube channel. I have all of the current Cyberpunk walkthroughs, all 8 parts up. So yeah, we're gonna, is there anyone on to raid out to? see what Tingus is doing. If he's still there. Hold on. Let me make sure before we get going out there and stuff. Know what I mean? Hope I hit the wrong button. Oh, dun, 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 dun. Oh, yep. He is playing Once Human. So yeah, let's go right out to Tingus. Say hi if you feel like it. And I will be back later on with Cyberpunk. I appreciate you all and have a good night.